everyone, and welcome back to Stats and Chats. I'm Bella, your host.
And I'm Jason, still counting all of the runs the Cubs scored last week while going 5-1, setting a record for the most number of home runs in a single game, and clearly paving the way for a world championship this year.
Keep wishing. Okay. Bing, bang, boom. Let's get started. So let's catch everybody up.
All right. I'm going to start with the number 22 because that was one of my favorite numbers of the week.
Are you going to tell us what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Later?
No. I've decided So 22 in the span of 6 games last week, the Cubs scored 22 more runs than their opponents. 22 run
Wow.
differential for the week.
That's good.
They went 5-1. I've got like a 45-minute segment later in the show, but
not really.
That's it. That's 22 is the number of the week. So
okay.
That's that. It was a busy weekend. Busy holiday weekend. We did a little staycation, pretty much.
I mean, it wasn't like a vacation. We didn't go anywhere. It's just at our house.
Well, isn't that the definition of a staycation?
No, a staycation is like when you go somewhere that's like in your area.
Yeah. When I was a kid.
Way back in the
day when I was walking 6 miles to the store.
Oh my God.
In 3-foot snow. Staycation just meant you didn't have to work or go to school, but you stayed home to enjoy your home.
That's not what it means to me, but glad you feel that way.
So let's see. I want to talk about Joey Chestnut in a second, but so we did fireworks. That was fun.
Yes.
Disney fireworks.
Convinced Mom to let us buy fireworks.
You got
set them off.
Yep.
She said no, but then I kept pestering her, so then she said yes.
We've never been that family that spends their mortgage, but it's nice that we have neighbors that are.
That sounds quite sarcastic.
No, I'm serious. It's only not nice when they go until 3 a.m, but
that's true.
But otherwise, yeah. So we enjoyed the neighborhood fireworks, and then we enjoyed the Mouse's fireworks.
Yeah.
It was great. Learned a new card game.
Yeah, spades. It's so fun. You should learn how to play it. I'm talking to the people, not you.
Okay.
You know how to play it.
I know. I was like crushing.
Okay. Keep telling yourself that.
Why do you like it? Numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I like any game?
That's true. You did well, though. Picked it right up.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Had some friends of the pod teach us that one. Let's see, what else? You got swims, final stretch coming up.
Yeah.
Last couple of meets. Starting to get ready.
Week and a half
Before the first one of back-to-back.
Yeah.
Senior champs and futures.
It's going to hurt really bad, though. Because I'm swimming all long events.
Both weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at senior champs, I'm swimming the 800 and the 200. And at futures, I'm swimming the mile and the 400. And if I get the 200 cut at senior champs, then I'm swimming the 200. So
it's exciting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So starting to taper a little bit?
No.
Starting to think about tapering a little bit.
We did a test set today, so.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. How'd it go? Did you pass?
That's not really how it works, but yeah, I did good. So.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right. So can we talk about hot dogs for a second?
Why do you have to talk about?
Because I feel disillusioned.
I don't know.
What
does that word mean?
It means feeling really positive and strong about something, but then kind of having a second thought that maybe it's not as positive and wonderful as you first thought.
Oh.
So after Joey Chestnut destroyed the competition and won his 15th mustard belt.
That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Wait, during the hot dog eating contest, can you put like ketchup and stuff on it, or no? Do you just have
There's
to eat it?
no real time for that.
Oh, okay.
It's all about fast buns. That's what he said. He went on the Today Show. It's all about fast buns. You want a fast bun.
Okay. This whole thing is going to cut out.
Anyway,
but...
I watched it. I watched it.
Yeah.
It was at noon.
Yeah.
We did a little preview on social, like make sure everybody knew it was at noon. I think we should pick something different as kind of our country's annual July 4th sporting tradition. Because afterward, I read commentary that Joey Chestnut is the greatest athlete the U.S. has ever produced.
No way.
I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up.
Where?
I don't know. But anyway,
I can't believe that was actually said.
It was entertaining.
I'm
but I think the novelty's
really,
he's wearing off.
That's also not really like an athletic ability. Like, as much as I hate to break it to you, that's just like you have a good digestive system. I don't know.
Well, no, there's like
good
there's
like
jaw
muscles?
stuff.
I don't need
So
to...
what do you want to weigh in? Go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, she's saying he's a big back, like he eats a lot of food.
But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough to watch. It is tough to watch.
It's a fine tradition, but like it shouldn't be the greatest athlete of all time. I feel like that's not...
I feel like we should find something else.
Okay.
It's gluttony.
That can be your job.
It's racing to gluttony.
Okay,
it's time gluttony.
I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think we should come up with something else.
You're still talking. Okay.
All right.
So,
hey, before we go into
you're still talking.
Before we go into quick hits, we didn't talk about who are we giving free advertising to this week, because I have an idea.
Okay.
You want my idea?
I'm gonna trust you on this, but I know I shouldn't. So
no, I'm gonna say Spindrift.
Oh. Okay.
Spindrift. If you haven't tried it, I highly encourage it. It's nice flavored soda water, but they use real juice. So less artificial stuff.
So healthy.
So I'm going to say it's healthy. I don't know if it is, but it's healthier than most of the others, I think. And it's very refreshing.
Okay.
It's very refreshing. It's not too sweet. Spindrift at a grocery store near you. Go ahead.
Can you let me talk?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so moving on to quick hits. First up, we have the WNBA Commissioner's Cup. The Fever beat... Whoa, I was talking too fast. Sorry.
You're excited.
The Fever beat the Lynx 74-59. Fever won without the help of Caitlin Clark. Natasha Howard was the game MVP. I feel like whenever I say that, it's like MVP. MVP. Okay. Big win for the Fever, and although it doesn't count towards the regular season record, the Lynx have suffered their third loss of the season, which is kind of a big deal for a really good team.
The best team in the league.
Losing to a not the best team without their star player, so that's kind of embarrassing.
Indiana looked great. I watched. I got to catch most of that game. That looked really good.
Caitlin Clark update: she has missed 10 games this season and only played 9. So
that's crazy.
That's got to be frustrating for her.
When is she due to be back? Do you know? I haven't looked.
It's not like said yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Actually, that's a lie. I think it's like July 17th, 18th, something like that. It's against Liberty.
Oh, okay.
I think.
New York. That's who she came back from last time.
Yeah, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah. She hasn't missed any games in her like literal career up until this season, so I know that's probably got to be frustrating for her, but
sure.
Yeah, it's not much you can do about it.
Well, she's still the number 1 vote recipient for the WNBA All-Star game, so
when is that?
It's July 20th, I think.
July 20th.
Yes.
Oh. Wonder if she's going to be back to play that. Okay, you can go.
All right.
I'm giving you permission to speak now.
All right. Just one other thing with WNBA that I find interesting right now that I've read a little bit about. I don't know if you have an opinion. The players are negotiating their next agreement, which I think is something we should keep an eye on,
Like
their
their
contract
contracts?
agreement, right? Because television rights are up at the end of the season too.
Yeah.
So the league is in the process of negotiating new TV rights. Obviously, over the last year and a half, ratings have grown significantly.
And they have more teams.
And they've signed more teams that are paying a lot of money to get into the league.
Yeah, for sure.
But I've read a couple of comments from players over the last couple of weeks because there have been initial proposals that the players are basically bashing in public as being insulting. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes because they're too low.
Like they're bashing the league or the team.
They're bashing. It's the league that is responsible for putting together a contract with the players overall. So how much of a share of the total revenue do players get? Because the league, each team operates individually, but the league also collectively when it works out different TV rights with different broadcast companies. So I think it'll be really interesting to see where it goes because right now they don't make a lot of money. They don't make a lot of money, but there was reason for it in the past. There weren't a lot of people watching, whether it was in the stadiums or on TV, but that's all changing and projected to only increase. So I think it's a good thing to keep an eye on because could get sticky, but hopefully very good in the end for the players. All right, a quick hit number 2. The Gold Cup final happened on Sunday between Mexico and the U.S. Mexico won 2-1. A little bit of controversy throughout the game. It happened in Houston. Yeah, I think they played in Houston. There was what looked like a clear hand call that was missed. A little bit of a deeper dive into that. There is some ambiguity around what actually results in that being called or not being called. But anyway, that was controversial. And then the go-ahead goal by Mexico toward the end of the game was actually first ruled offsides, but then upon further review, in fact, was not. So some controversy. That said, Mexico played an amazing game, had an amazing tournament, did not lose in the tournament. Their last 3 games before the final were shutouts, and this is their second year in a row winning. They've also won 10 Gold Cups in total, which is a record. The Gold Cup is played on average every 2 years. There have been some fluctuations, but on average, it's played every 2 years. And clearly they've dominated. And again, a great preview for the World Cup next year. But that said, there is some positive takeaways for the U.S. team. So even though the U.S. lost and really, even though they got to the final, were not, extremely impressive. The reality is they had at least 6 projected starters from their Gold Cup or their World Cup team not playing for various reasons, right?
Yeah.
So between 6 and 9 is what's projected that were not on the team. So they made it to the finals. They did lose, but they also gave some of those backups a chance to play on the world stage, sort of in preparation for next year. So there is some positive takeaways. So that's your Gold Cup.
Cool. So next up, F1 British Grand Prix. Okay, I just need to tell you, I have found a new sports love in F1. It's actually so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you would think it's kind of boring because they're just like going around a track in circles at really fast paces, but it's not. It's so fun and it's so cool. And like the pit stops and how they're really, really fast. And then like people get like the cars get whacked off the course and then there are like crashes. Obviously, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but like it's kind of cool. Then they get like spun out and there was rain, so it was kind of cool and kind of dangerous.
It's all about the tires, baby.
Yeah.
All about the tires.
Stop saying that. you don't know what you're talking about. Stop.
No, it is. It is. I read a whole story in The Athletic about how the tires were one of the main stars of F1 the movie.
Yes.
Because it's so important in racing. I know.
I know it matters a lot. I'm just saying you're not a pro. Stop acting like you're a pro.
You're just impressed because I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. You sound like you're trying to know what you're talking about. But anyways, Lando Norris wins Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri?
Piastri.
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 Got second, so McLaren takes both first and second place. There was some rain on the course, as I said earlier, but it cleared up for most of like the later part of the race. So it was fine for the most part. Nico Hulkenberg claimed his first podium. I thought this is kind of funny because he was the driver with the most starts like for his team without a podium.
Is that right?
At 209
Oh my
races.
gosh. I saw that he was getting congratulated by like all of the drivers.
Yeah. So
I couldn't figure it out because he was third.
Yeah, it was his first podium.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, it is cool. It's really cool. But I thought it was kind of funny because he's had 239 races and hasn't hit a podium. But you know,
I like that.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Piastri suffered a 10-second penalty on lap 21 during the race for braking too hard and interfering with the safety car which called a reset on the course.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I heard he was penalized. I didn't see why.
Yeah. So he basically, like, the safety car had just called like a reset on the course. Yeah. And, you know, then all the drivers have to like slow down and whatever. But he basically, I think, like broke too hard and then caused another driver to like either go off the course or something happened. And then the like committee ruled it like unacceptable behavior because the safety car had just called the reset. Right. So, yeah, that was a little controversial, but
very interesting.
Yeah. So,
cool.
That's F1 for you.
Fun fact. So a couple things. One, would you be as excited about F1 if you hadn't gone to see the movie?
No, I don't think so because the movie like really showed me like how it works.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing with tennis that we were talking about earlier. It's like I like to watch tennis. It's just hard because I don't understand like the scoring of it and how that works. And so it's just hard to watch because I don't know who's winning, what's happening. I don't know what any of the numbers mean. But like F1, the movie like showed a lot of the background stuff. And obviously the scoring for the like league and stuff depends on like how many you win, what places you get, whatever. But like for the race, it's easy to see who's winning and who's not. Like that's not that complicated, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely made me more excited.
I completely agree. Me too, because I learned a lot in that movie, and I think you and I are not going to be alone. So one, if anybody is curious about F1, go see the movie. And two, I predict a year from now, we are going to be seeing some of the largest increases in American viewing of F1 races that the sport's ever seen. So make a note a year from now, because I think we're not alone. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited. You know, it just intrigues me. NASCAR continues to grow in popularity, and there's exciting things about NASCAR. I get it, you know, and I was talking to a friend over the weekend and we were having this conversation like, why is NASCAR so much more popular? And I think one of the reasons why is because they drive a car that could be parked in your driveway, sort of. Like, at least it looks like it could be parked in your driveway. Yeah. Obviously, underneath is a whole different story. And F1 cars do not look like they belong in anybody's driveway. But I think the more people learn about it, and the movie is just a great entryway to learn some of the basics. Yeah, in fun and entertaining way. I think they're going to see a big push over the next year. Yeah.
Well, I think the movie definitely helped them, obviously.
All right. So my fun fact stats on F1.
Okay.
I was looking at one of the key points that was focused on in the movie and during races is how long a pit stop takes. Yeah. Right. To change those famous tires that we were talking about. So on average, a pit stop in 1990 in an F1 race took 8.95 seconds, almost 9 seconds. 1990. Mm-hmm. Fast forward 35 years. The average pit stop.
Oh my God, it's been 35 years since 1990.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's crazy. Sorry, that just like hit me kind of.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You and me both.
Okay.
The average pit stop today for an F1 race, it went from almost 9 seconds to 1.84 seconds.
So like
less than 2 seconds.
So like a
almost
7-second
9
drop.
Yes, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fast.
That's fast.
I think that would be a cool job actually.
It looked cool in the movie.
It'd be really stressful though, because
Yeah.
it's like gotta be fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Definitely. All right, main topics. Club World Cup.
Hit it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. It's going. Semifinals today and tomorrow. I think they're going to be starting. Actually, today's game is in an hour between Fluminense and Chelsea. Some really cool matchups in the semifinals. Fluminense, the only non-European team left of note. So that's interesting.
Where are they from?
Brazil had a couple of great upsets, including one here in Orlando to get to the semis. 4 of their 8 goals have been from substitutes along the way.
Fire.
So kind of the underdog story a little bit for them. So exciting to see them play Chelsea. Obviously one of the favorites going in. They've shown resilience along the way, but they were expected to be here. So I think that'll be really cool, entertaining matchup today. Tomorrow you got PSG from France, who beat Bayern Munich a couple days ago in the quarterfinal 2-0, facing Real Madrid. And Mbappe did come back, and he is making a difference. So that should be a fantastic matchup tomorrow. The winners of the 2 games play in the finals on Sunday, the 3rd. And I think it'll be really, really interesting. I think we're in for some great soccer to finish this up. One of the fears that we had going into the tournament was, were the players going to be all in and fully invested?
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, the play would tell you they are, and they have been. And they've overcome some crazy weather.
Yeah.
Incredibly hot conditions in some cases, and empty stadiums, which is another kind of wacky thing. So
it's kind of sad. Like,
it is.
If you're playing on like a professional team and nobody's like coming to watch.
It is. So I wanted to do a little bit more of a dive into attendance and ratings. What have we seen so far for the Club World Cup? What's the state of soccer? Because we kind of started this conversation last month talking about, what's the state of soccer in the U.S. today going into the World Cup next year. So some cool stuff here from the group stage. So that was the first stage where all the teams competed. The average capacity was 57% in stadiums. Yeah. And obviously that there was a wide range there. There were some that were almost full down in Miami, and there were some that were almost empty.
Yeah.
So wide range, but 57%, obviously not what FIFA was looking for going into this when you have some of the best clubs and players in the world playing. One of the things that I found interesting is throughout the tournament, FIFA started using dynamic pricing. And so what that meant was, and they continue to do it today, even for these semifinal games up in New York. So what that means is starting prices for some of these games started at hundreds of dollars, right? $300, $400, $500. You can get a ticket to the game today for less than a beer.
That's cool. Not good for them.
I don't know that it's cool.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yes.
I was just thinking of something. Are all of the matches held in the U.S.? Because I know
all of these matches have been held in the U.S.
All of them are in the U.S.
Yes.
I wonder what difference it would make if it was held in Europe. Anywhere in Europe.
I think that's a really great question.
Because you're having, let's be real, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, is not America's first choice sport. It's like
and
football,
especially with all the U.S. teams gone now,
and basketball, really. They're putting it in a country where that's not really the main sport, but if you go to a lot of European countries, that is the main sport that they play there.
But
I don't know.
That's one of the goals.
I don't live there, but
that's one of the goals of
yes,
FIFA, right?
Yes.
Those just like more NFL games in Europe,
yes,
or in Mexico,
but not all NFL games,
right?
So would it be more beneficial to have some here, especially what we've seen is the later rounds, tend to have more people going. So would it be more beneficial to say, okay, the finals and the semifinals or
Yeah,
whatever are going to be held in the US and everything else is going to be held in Europe? Because
maybe.
then that's also more beneficial for most of the teams because time change.
Yeah,
So
maybe. I
I
don't
don't know.
know. It's a
Just a
good
thought
question.
because I know that like obviously they want to make money and you're not making as much money here, I would assume, right?
Yes,
Because they get a percentage off of whatever the field,
of
like
course,
however many people buy the
of
tickets. So they're
course.
not making as much money here as they would over
Right.
there.
Yeah,
But then they're not growing the popularity over here if all the games are over there.
exactly. Yeah, and I think that's part of the goal. Part of the goal going into next year and the World Cup,
Yeah.
with most games being played in the U.S. as well. It's interesting. I think they're gonna look at this and say it's a win overall. I believe. They're doing everything they can to fill the seats for these semifinals and finals, including giving volunteers 4 tickets
Yeah.
to go and watch the games when they're there. But they're not giving any refunds to people or discounts to people that spent full price for the tickets when it started, which is going to irritate some people, right?
Yeah. Because
So
then they can get them right before the game
that's
for
right. So
tons.
if they'd known, but they didn't, they're just excited to see their favorite
Hmm.
teams. So from a ratings perspective, the average game so far has drawn about 360,000 people on TV.
60,000 on TV.
On TV,
Okay.
up to 409 on average. Peak viewership was one of the Inter Miami games, not surprising, with
Yeah.
Messi. That reached almost 900,000 for one of their games. If you compare it to Premier League
Yeah.
viewership in the US, the average is about the same.
Yeah.
Premier League on USA Network averages about 394,000. So they're going to say this tournament at least fared basically as
Yeah.
well, with the stars like Messi drawing more people. So they're gonna say it was a win, which tells us they weren't expecting full stadiums and 2 million people to
Yeah.
watch each match. I think what'll be interesting is what it looks like next year. I think that'll be interesting. And my last thought about all of this when it comes to soccer, and where it stands today is it is, and it's not just soccer. I was having a conversation with one of our friends last week about baseball, and I think you know one of the missions of all of these leagues is to attract more and more young people,
Yeah.
right? Which is
Obviously.
obviously why, right? Um, but you hear more and more stories of how the athletes specifically are feeling like they are overworked and they're losing that passion and love that drew them. And I think if the athletes playing the sports, so I go back to soccer, if the athletes if we're going into the World Cup and you hear star athletes that are playing for these different countries voicing complaints and concerns about having to play too many matches going into the Club World Cup, it's going to impact
Viewership.
viewership. It just
Yeah.
is, because I think people want to turn on to watch these events and see players rejoicing about the opportunity that most of the viewers think they could and should and want to be doing as well. And if they're not, I think it's gonna have an impact. So I think that there's some deeper core things that hopefully are being considered before the World Cup next year. That's it. That's my stake. That's my take.
Yeah. So
And my stake.
what?
Just my take.
Okay. So moving on to Wimbledon. Both of our men's picks are still in it,
Yes.
which is good.
Collision course. They're on a collision course to play in the finals.
Yeah, that would get interesting.
Actually, I think Sinner's playing. No, Alcaraz is playing right now. Senators playing tomorrow.
Cool. Well, ESPN, this is viewership. I put this in just for you.
Oh, thank you.
ESPN has like the viewership rights for Wimbledon.
Yeah.
And they had their highest ever one-day viewership, like on the first day, on day one.
Did they really?
Their highest ever viewership for Wimbledon
Wow.
with an average of 539,000 views.
It's pretty good. It's on Monday.
Yeah. So.
And it starts early.
Yeah.
It starts at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
There's a
So.
time difference.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
That's very cool. Good stat.
And that made it the most watched Wimbledon opening day in 22 years that ESPN has held the rights.
Lucky them.
Yeah, it's good. For the women's singles play, 4 out of the top 5 seeded women's players have been eliminated already.
Crazy, dude.
It's crazy.
Number 1 almost went down today.
Yeah.
I was not stop watching, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Ariana, wait. I forgot how to say this girl's name.
Number 1?
Yeah. What's her name?
Sabalenka, right?
Sabalenka, yeah. She's the only top 5 woman left in the competition. She's never won a Wimbledon, but she has won 2 Australian Opens and 1 US Open. So she has some Grand Slam titles under her belt.
Yes, she does.
This is my last, like, pretty cool fact that I found. Between the men and women, so both of singles,
yeah,
the amount of seeds out in the first 2 rounds was 36.
Crazy.
Which was the most in 25 years.
Crazy. Crazy upsets, man.
Yeah, the upsets are wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing I want to talk about was like the AI.
Oh yeah.
Like blind people thing, whatever that is. I don't know.
I know. It's what's it called? ELC.
Yeah.
Electric line calling.
Yeah.
Gotta have an acronym.
So that's getting put into Wimbledon instead of having a line judge, like a person.
What do you think?
I think there are pros and cons. I think there are pros because it's more accurate, which is good because you want the calls to be called correctly. But I think it takes longer because they have to pull up the videos.
Okay.
Instead of just having the person be like, "Oh wait, that's out," or like that's my personal opinion. I just feel like it takes longer than it needs to. And it's having some meltdowns, I feel like the system itself. So one official who was officiating a match accidentally shut the system off for some reason. I don't know how this even happens, but he accidentally, or she actually, I'm not sure. They accidentally shut the thing off. So then a play happened. They go to look at it and they're like, wait, something's wrong with this thing.
Yeah.
So then the technical people behind the scenes, not like anybody on the course, it's like it got shut off by the person. So yeah, that's a little suspicious.
A little sus.
A little sus.
You want to.
So this caused a big delay, and at least from what I saw, it was pretty clear that the ball had been out to begin with. Like, the AI system shouldn't have even been needed for the call, which is frustrating because, like, just because there is an AI system doesn't mean that you should not be paying attention to what's happening. Like, it could have been avoided if the person was just paying attention. That was clearly out. Obviously it was good that they recognized that the system had been shut off, but
yeah,
it was a clearly out ball. So it was kind of unfortunate that there was a big delay and well, I almost just knocked that over. Yeah, so that was kind of
So it's not ready. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's not ready yet. And multiple players have come out and said that they did not like it.
Yeah.
And that they did not want it.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take the opposing view on this one. that from what I've seen so far, the only mistakes made are by people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that actual, like, system is wrong. I
Yeah,
just think it's so new that people don't know how to
yeah,
work
yeah.
with
They just
it
haven't. I mean, it's
how
the
to
first
work with
time,
it,
right?
and if that's a problem, then there should have probably been more training to begin
Yeah.
with.
I mean, I watching a few of the matches and watching some of the video that the technology is using.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty remarkable. Actually, I think it's really cool technology. I think to your point, I don't know how somebody turns it off because that was an obvious bad call. But I think it's pretty cool. I think also just from aesthetics,
Yeah.
it's a cleaner court. It's a cleaner court, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, I think it's good, and I think it's not gonna go away anytime soon, but I think there should have been more preparation ahead of time so that it doesn't get shut off in the middle of a match, and yeah.
So who you got winning? You got Alcaraz and who? Because Goff lost
Oh, yeah,
in the first
she
week,
lost,
first
yeah.
couple days.
I think Sabalenka. I think she's gonna win.
Okay, number one,
I
she's going
think
to take it. She
yeah.
almost lost it.
I know, but I feel like she's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, she came
I
back
mean,
strong.
yeah, and it's like grass, so that's kind of hard to play on, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
All right,
So yeah, I think she can do it. She can do it.
all right. Um, both of mine are still in.
Yeah.
Both of mine. Although Sinner was on his way to losing yesterday before his opponent had to retire because he looked like he pulled a pec muscle or something. It was really bad. He couldn't lift his arm. So
Oh,
hopefully
oh.
he's okay. Um,
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was down 2 sets and it wasn't looking good. He was slipping all over the place too. Weird. It's almost like he needed cleats.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm sticking with my two. Swatek is playing today, I think. Today or tomorrow. But yeah, we're in the quarterfinals. So exciting. Very, very exciting. Fun moment for me. If anybody wants to dig in, Ben Shelton. So there's 3 U.S. players remaining. 2 men. Fritz won today.
yeah,
Shelton plays tomorrow, I think. He's actually, if Alcaraz wins, he's going to have to play Alcaraz, Shelton. So number 10
that's
versus
cool.
number 2. But he was being interviewed after his win over the weekend, and
I think that's
he was telling everybody about how grateful he was, how fortunate he felt, how much support he had. His parents were there, his girlfriend was there, and even his sister was there, who's been kind of his good luck charm for the tournament. And he was like, unfortunately, she's got to leave after today. She works at Morgan Stanley. So if anybody
that's
from Morgan Stanley's listening, if my sister can get another week, that would be great. It was like on the court. I think it might have
yeah.
been center court. And then sure enough, they posted on social. He and his sister posted on social later that day. And he was like, so did you hear from Morgan Stanley? And she started jumping down and said, yes, I'm off. I'm off for the week.
That's
It
cool.
was a really, really cool. It was a really cool moment. So yeah,
That's fun.
all I'm going to say about Wimbledon is I haven't taken the time to watch tennis in, I don't know, at least 10 years. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. The competitive spirit, it's person against person. There's tension. The skill is incredible, both men and women. There's been some fantastic tennis, and very exciting to watch. The games take a while, but
Yeah.
it's almost nonstop, in
Yeah.
my opinion. So pretty cool stuff. All right, Major League Baseball. We are on the eve of the All Star game.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
passed the midway point.
It's cool.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so quick rundown of standings. Some of the same leaders that we talked about over the last couple of weeks. Detroit, 14 game lead in the Central
crazy.
Division over Minnesota and Kansas City. They've got the best record in baseball. They are just unstoppable through the first half of the season. So kudos to them. Exciting to see them. I mean, we know that the Lions are going to take a step back with Chicago coming in and stealing their head coach and ruining their football celebration. So good that they have baseball.
Oh my God. So
AL
mean.
AL East, Toronto takes the lead into the break with the Yankees and the Rays right behind. In the National League, it's the tightest race in baseball with the Mets up, or the Phillies up just one game over the Mets. The Dodgers have a 6-game lead over the Padres, and then in Chicago with a 3.5-game lead in the Central. Leaders going into the All-Star break, Aaron Judge, batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. So continuing his hot bat through the first half of the year. Cal Raleigh in Seattle, leading with 35 home runs. And then Max Fried with the only pitcher in baseball with 11 wins through the first half of the season as well. So
That's cool.
some fantastic performances, some fantastic results so far through the first half of the year. Going into the All-Star break, which starts on Friday, All-Star selections have been made. Starters have been announced. A couple of cool stats about the selections this year. There are 9 first-time starters
That's cool.
on both sides of the ball, which is cool, including PCA from Chicago. The Dodgers had the most All-Star players at the game this year with 5, 3 starters, and both the Tigers and the Mariners have 4.
Oh.
So those are your leading teams. Other events that are happening this weekend, and we haven't watched much of this in the past few years at least. There is a futures game on Saturday that features it's kind of like an all-star game for minor leaguers,
Oh, that's
which is
cool.
kind of cool. So some
Yeah.
of the best of the best. There's a celebrity softball game on Saturday featuring. I was looking at this lineup today and I'm thinking, have you heard of any of these people? And the chances are you have not.
Probably
I'm gonna
not.
try. I'm gonna try. Big Boy.
No, I don't know.
He's a rapper.
I
Uh,
assumed
Devon.
no. I don't know who that is either.
He's he's on athletes. Jordan Childs. You know her.
Yeah, I know her.
Gymnast.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Terrell Owens.
What does he do?
He's a
Track?
football player.
Oh.
A retired football player.
Oh. Yeah, no.
He's on that Cowboys doc that we need to watch.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know him.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I didn't know most of these names either, so I think they need to work on their celebrity softball
Yeah.
pipeline for the future if they want us to watch anyway. I thought one cool thing is there are 2 USA Olympic softball players.
I don't know if they should be allowed to play the celebrity softball
I
game.
think they should, and I think they should crush
I feel
everybody.
like that's cheating.
I think they should crush everybody. Jenny Finch, Natasha Watley.
Don't know who they are, but
I'm rooting for them.
okay. Fire.
I'm rooting for them. So that's on Saturday. The draft happens this weekend too.
Oh,
Major League Baseball draft. And then always the most popular event, the Home Run Derby, happens Monday, which will feature 8 players. 3 have been named, so we're waiting for the last 5.
yeah.
That'll be exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the game is on Tuesday. Just a few things. All right. So they're leading the division by 3.5 games. I'll make this quick. It's not going to be 45. They went 5-1 last week. They swept the Guardians. They won 2 out of 3 against St. Louis. 22-run differential over the week. During that game on the 4th, see, this is what I'm saying. They should just let the Cubs play the Cardinals every July 4th because there were more fireworks there than at Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Michael Bush, 3 home runs. PCA, 2 home runs. It's like, dude, it was crazy. Just bombs.
Okay.
Bombs everywhere. They've got 3 all-star players. 3 players elected to the all-star game. And if you look at their record today compared to 2016 when they won the World Series,
Yeah.
they are only 1 win behind.
That's actually pretty good.
Only 1 win behind. So
Surprisingly.
I'm just saying, go Cubs, go.
Yeah.
That's it for your baseball update.
Okay. So the only thing that I have for cleanup is Caitlin Clark.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
She's set to come back tomorrow.
Oh,
Actually.
darn. Okay, look at you.
Well, maybe. That's what they're saying.
Questionable.
They're hoping she will return tomorrow. But
Me too. I miss her.
yeah.
Although I feel like the Fever have done great without her.
Yeah. This time.
That is true.
So what to watch? Club World Cup final is on the 13th. Wimbledon finals. The women's are on the 12th, men on the 13th. MLB All-Star Game on the 15th. British Open starts the 17th and ends the 20th. And NFL training camps have not started yet, but they will be starting late July.
Yeah. The Chargers rookies
Yeah, they have to be back.
report on the 12th, with most teams fully reporting on the 20th.
21st.
Yeah, pretty cool. Should we Happy Gilmore on the 25th?
Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
The movie? Like the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, come on. And then finally, I didn't even realize it was already here. Superman comes out this weekend.
How cool.
Are you in, or am I going with my other friends?
You're going with your movie theater friends.
Hotpodmom.com. Do you want to go with me? No, Superman. Oh, that's on Netflix. But we can park and watch it in the car if you want. That'd be cool.
That's weird.
That'd be romantic.
What's the
All right, so I'm going.
You just keep talking after I'm done. I'm like explaining the stuff, and then you have to.
I have a lot to say this week. There's a lot. You know what I figured? Out?
Stop talking.
The leagues force all of these other sports on us at the same time, so they're all over when football is happening, because everybody just watches football when there's football. So that's why we have 50 million other things to talk about.
No, I say my bit, and then you are like, okay, now I'm going to say my entire bit on the same topic.
It doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about.
And then I'm going to talk about my thing. Like, why do you have to repeat everything that I say?
All right, so I'm going to go see Superman. I've heard it's the best.
We get it. What is the poll question?
Okay, the poll question: who will win the home run derby? And we don't know everybody competing yet, but as soon as we do, we'll fill it out. We'll fill it out. It's not till Monday.
Okay.
But we'll leave a space so you can fill in your name in the meantime. And then as we get more of the participants, we'll fill them in.
Okay.
Who will win the home run derby? That's it. That's all. That's all you need to know.
Okay. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to follow on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, that's it. Leave a comment, follow.
Threads? You talk about Threads?
No, nobody's on Threads but you.
Yeah, I chat with people.
So weird. Okay. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.